All right, sweet guys. So yeah, happy Memorial Day weekend. As you guys know, we had a pretty solid week coming into this week. But of course, the work is not done yet. And I'm going to share with you guys first three things. One, I'm going to go over my SPY predictions as we charted last week. Two, I'm going to go over I guess you could say a way for you guys to kind of look at your potential contracts as you guys trade, to see how the market is actually purchasing and selling these contracts that you guys trade. I know some people use it. I do look at it from time to time, but I think it could be a benefactor when you guys trade, just to kind of gauge to see what people are buying per contract basis. And three, if you guys have any questions or whatnot, how to use the unusual options bot that we have, or the options flow, I'm gonna go ahead and explain it again one more time and how I utilize it. There's many ways that you can kind of have an edge when you guys use that to trade, and I think it's very, very critical for a lot of us retail traders to use, because it helps a lot, right? As soon as you get some sort of confluence or validation in your trade, it helps a lot with your confidence. Anyhow, gonna dive in here, looking at SPY again, guys, within our charts. So remember last week when we were hitting around this 414, right over here, draw a little arrow. This is when we wanted to see two game plans, right? We wanted to see either a downside from that break down from that 414.68, or if we continue to hold going up, which obviously we did continue to hold, right? Remember, as a trader, you need to have two sets of game plans, right? Each game plan, which includes a stop loss, a profit target, and so forth, right? And two, right, having the game plan being able to adapt to either a bearish market or a bullish market, or in this case, we had a bearish game plan, meaning if we broke this level, prior to this action, do you guys remember when we charted last week? I was looking to play to the downside, right? Remember, this was going to be my first profit target, and then of course I wanted to see if we hit that bottom channel of the teal trend line, which of course we didn't. But of course, if we continue to hold, we had that bullish bias to set and to go forth, which of course, if you're looking at this now, because we broke that teal resistance and we kind of broke out, honestly, weaker volume, so it's kind of shaky, kind of trappy. However, we did break, which is continuing to show us a bullish momentum, going forward. Now, of course, remember when I said when we continue to break this and we continue to hold again, right? I do have a profit target of looking at all-time highs, and of course, eventually hitting that upper broadening, trend line as a resistance, as a potential, area of where we can collect profits, or an area to watch. So going into next week, I do have a bullish bias now. Just looking at the charts right now, it just shows complete bulls are in control. You can go back and look at the indicators. We are showing some, reversal in the MACD. Some green is appearing in the histogram, which of course, signals a bullish trend. Now, of course, anything can change, right? As a trader, right, you still need to be able to adapt to the markets, right? If we do continue to trend upwards, and a nice profit target would of course be all-time highs. Remember, keep in mind, it's always difficult for the markets to kind of gauge what is a fair market price when we hit all-time highs, because we're basing off of data that we have never seen before. If we continue to blast off higher, meaning that we can either just squeeze and have like a massive rally to the upside, or we can get some choppiness after breaking out a little bit higher, a little bit low. The market still needs to kind of show us what is a fair value of where the market could be headed. Okay. So that's the SPY. I do have a bullish bias going into the long weekend. I didn't do too much charting. I'm probably going to do it tonight just because we have an extra day. But the next thing I wanted to kind of show you guys, which was probably going to give you some edge right here. I'm just going to go to Tesla, since we do know that, or I'm in it. We all know that I'm in it. And some of you guys are in it as well. So first and foremost, let me show you, if you guys are trading on Thinkorswim, okay, two things. First, I'm going to share the options. Hold on. Am I sharing it? This. There you go. So this is what I have, right? And then it's a scanner that's free in TOS, Thinkorswim. I know majority of us use it, so it's to your benefit to kind of take advantage of this. So this is what I have set on my scanners. And I do, it's not the the cons of this is that it's not definitely live. It doesn't, compute every second, every minute. I know there is some lag time here, but what I like to do is, every single day, beginning of the market and also at the end of the day of the market, I like to use this setup here as my options. I guess you could say scanner to look for some high open interest, high volume trades that's been happening throughout the day, and also even through the whole long weekend, right? Because it shows you of what traders are actually looking for or holding throughout the whole, long weekend. And it can kind of give you an idea of what everybody else is looking for in a certain contract. So go ahead again, like I said, open interest. I like to see it a little bit more than 7,000, right? That kind of tells me that, hey, what open interest is people are still holding onto the contracts, meaning they open it, but they have yet to close the contracts. I think 7K is a good round number just to get an idea of what people are looking for. Now, of course, the volume, right? We want to be able to find liquid, contracts where people are actually trading it. So I have 10,000 set. You can always play around with this number. These numbers I just like to have as a nice ballpark. You can go higher, you can go lower, but I think this is right in the median of where everything is. Now, of course, the days to expiration here. Okay, I have it to 1 days to at least 32 days. You guys know I'm a day trader. I don't swing 2, 3, 4 months out. If you guys trade leaps and whatnot, you can always mess with this, increase this as you go. Some people let's just say they don't want to trade weeklies, right? And then they want to go into, at least 13 to 12, or let's say 2 weeks out. And then they can max it at, like 60 days or something like that. But I like to keep it at 32 and I like it at 1 just so I can get an idea of, the degenerates out there looking to trade, people that are a little bit more aggressive like myself, just to kind of pinpoint where we are, right? And of course, implied volatility. This one you don't really have to have. I like to have just as a 5% marker because I like to, we're traders, right? We need that volatility to make money. If everything was consolidating and flat, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, your risk is a lot lower, right? But your reward isn't really much there either. So I like to see that volatility. So I have it at 5% set, right? And of course, if you guys can, have these filters on, right? It's very simple to do, right? You can add another filter here, stock option, whatnot, and then continue to add, you add deltas, extrinsic value, right? Net change is a thing, but I don't really look at that either. Of course, you can always do that and add more, but I just keep these top 4, right, on there, and I just hit the scan button here in your TOS. Let it compute. Sometimes it might take up to honestly like a minute. It's kind of laggy sometimes, especially when the market's live. But yeah, as soon as you have this, computed, right now, it gives you a sense of all the contracts that have been traded that have this parameters set, right, as you guys are trading options, right? So of course, the first thing I like to look for, right, is of course the open interest. You can set it as description mode if you like it a little bit more cleaner. So it has it on alphabetical order, Apple, AMC, yada, 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 right? And scroll up and scroll down. But I like to look at it open interest first. So I'll let it at the highest mark, meaning that if you see this being the highest, right, it means this contract alone has the most open interest. The trade is still open. The contract is still open, right? Volume, right? Decent size, right? But the fact that we have this much open interest shows that there are a lot of bulls in this June 18, 135 calls in Apple still, right? You can go ahead and look at the net change percent too, right? They, on average, right, they are around 30% down right now. So not necessarily when you look at these high open interest contracts means that, majority of these guys are correct. It's just showing you that majority of the traders out there are bullish Apple. They're continuing to hold this stock, the June 18 contracts, okay? It just kind of gives you an idea, right? So, it wouldn't be, a bad idea to kind of look at this throughout the next week, right? See if you can buy a dip because, if we're down 30% of what it is and you have this many people that are bulls, likely you're buying it at a much better discount than the majority of these guys that already opened their contract, okay? But of course, there's multiple ways that you can kind of gauge how this information tells you. But, this is very crucial and very critical on how I like to look for potential swings, for potential, aggressive trades that were all of a sudden like, because it's Apple, right? Don't get me wrong, right? Everyone's bullish Apple, but sometimes, right, you get like, some random, let's just say the second one, knock, and okay, right? On average percent change right now, 25%. This is unusual. This is out of the ordinary, right? Because who the hell trades knock contracts? I think it's like $5 per share right now or whatnot, but this is very unusual. Okay, you have a lot of open interest. So that kind of tells me, hey, maybe knock can be on my watch list going into this week, because maybe a lot of these guys are, anticipating a squeeze, right? Some sorts of like that, right? But if it's like Apple, obviously I'm not too surprised that it's up here, right? Because it's Apple. But sometimes you get these names here. Like obviously AMC has never been on here until recently because of what's been happening, right, with the meme stocks and the squeeze. So kind of let me go to mouse, and we can go back and highlight description now so you can see it. So let's just say we're looking at AMC right now. So this kind of shows you all the AMC contracts right up to here. There's obviously puts and calls, right? Maybe it could be a straddle position or whatnot. They're doing some sort of option strategy. Maybe there's people out there trying to catch the top. Maybe there's people that think there's a larger squeeze. Of course, when you're looking at all these AMCs, right, you want to go ahead and look back into the open interest, the volume. Of course, it's set to this parameter that we have. So, ideally, you don't really need to worry as long as it's on your radar. It kind of gives you details that a lot of people are still trading AMC or they're still in the trade. Okay. Of course, just looking at something that's very, very, let's say, I don't know, like this, well, it's AMD. But here, this AMC, this one's a big one. Look at this. There's AMC 40 calls. There's 224,000 contracts that open right now. Okay. And the volume right now is over 100K that's been traded. Right. That's very unusual. So, sometimes, people can see this and say, oh, we get a gamma squeeze or something where, holy shit, if this goes to $40, right, that could be a potential, profit taking, right? Because ideally, a lot of people that trade these out the money, options, they're trying to capture that fast move to the upside and the potential. If they do think, right, ideally, how you guys trade options is when you're trading that strike price, you think that it will go to $40. So of course, look at this, and even those are up 25%. Which is it's nutty, right? These are very out the money. I think it's like, what's AMC at right now, like 26 or something per share. So that could be on watch for you going into the short week as well. Right. Another one is out of AMC is we have these 15 calls, or I'm sorry, no, we have something that was very well. These 15 puts too, but they're like a straddle position option chain strategy. But like these 20 puts, right? Fair value, right? I mean, it's trading at $25, so you can kind of look at it and see, okay, there's people that think there's a little bit more downside, into the name. And of course, a lot of these guys are speculative, trading off of speculation. It's a meme stock, right? A lot of you guys are just catching it, here and there. No one really knows, but of course, just looking at this number, right? Let's just say the most out of the ordinary is the 40 calls. Holy shit, there's a lot of contracts still open. And they're up right now. So, I mean, keep that in mind. Of course, if you can continue looking through this entire scanner, right, you can find names that let's just say you're trading in right now. Let's just say Palantir for one. Okay, since some of us are in Palantir. So there are still, not as much as AMC and Apple and whatnot, but there are still some open interest. There's some, decent volume traded here, meaning that the spread isn't going to be that bad, guys. That's the main reason for volume. We want to see that tight spread. Okay. Look at 24 calls still open, 25 calls, 25, 25, 30. There's a big one here. 30 calls for June 18, about 62,000 open interest right now. And they are up around 100% already. So, that's one for you. Tesla right here, kind of getting burned on both sides, guys. You can see the puts and the calls that people are actually in the trade. They're both down. Just mainly because it's been consolidating, right? Even for us, right? We were up on that last market and squeeze, and then all of a sudden it just crashed, and we're all down 30% or whatnot. So anyways, take a look at this, guys. When you have the time, you guys trade on Thinkorswim. It's a good help, especially over the weekend. I always glance at this when I'm looking for potential trades on my watch list for the week, just to kind of see what other people are in or trading as well. So that's one. If anyone has any questions on this, go ahead and shoot a message. Cool. So the second thing, right, guys, is I'm going to show you my active trader. And you guys know I'm in Tesla and I'm in Palantir. So I'm just showing you where my buys and sell, I didn't even sell yet, but, just to be transparent and show you guys. So there's one thing where, I obviously go back into my option chain. I think I mentioned it a few times, but for the people who are new to trade Thinkorswim, that want to kind of learn how to, how we get in and out very fast instead of going back into the monitor tab, is you see these chat box right here, right? The text box. Yeah, so what we do is we copy and paste the actual contract that we're trading, right? Obviously, and then we paste it on here, which is this is a Tesla 640 calls that we're in, and this is the Palantir that we're in as well. Of course, I'm on the Tesla chart right now. Yeah, let me remove this. This market's not open. Give you a better view. So one thing is that, a lot of people don't really realize, right, is that this chat thing here, I usually sometimes have it like this, right? You guys will see it from time to time because I just use this active trader. I'll buy right here. I have this auto send button, right? So as soon as I click this, when market's open, it'll buy, it'll fill, right? Whatever it is. And of course, when I sell, it'll do the same thing as well. The main key thing here, guys, is as execution, right? We want to be able to get in and out very quickly of what we want, right? Especially if you're watching this, on the charts right here, because it's there, boom, 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 boom. You just want to go in and out, in and out, in and out. Instead of going back, let's just say your mobile, back into the monitor tab, right clicking, going to the sell limit, doing all that. We can do this right here, very straightforward. Now, of course, when you have this on default, guys, remember you have to go to the gear icon right here, and you have to make sure you guys get, oh man, hold on, give me a sec. Zoom doesn't allow me to, let me click this. Yeah, so yeah, this is where you click on the gear icon, and you'll see all of this here to kind of remove her, back and forth. I think the auto send is not here when you're in default, and the quantity with buttons are not here. And of course the buy, ask, and sell bid is not here as well. I have the TIFs here just so I can make sure and change to extended day or good till canceled, or, as a day trade, right? But move those here over so that you can have that there. It'll be helpful for you guys, especially guys if you guys are day trading, right? Scalping. This is like the best thing that you could do for yourself to give you that advantage. Now, of course, the next thing, right? Like I said, I wanted to go over is the contracts purchasing. So let's just say on my top left right now, I'm looking at it from a 30-day, or here, actually, let me make it a little bit, 10-day, 30 minutes, okay? Obviously, we're in a clear uptrend, right? A little bit. And then we kind of just wanted to, let's just say you wanted to gauge and see, oh, wow, let's say if I were to buy it, 6 days ago, right? Well, I would be up a little bit, or let's see if someone did buy it, and let's see where your contracts would be up right now. So going back into your active trader where you have that copy pasted of that contract that you are trading, right? You can click that chart button right here, okay? Actually, let me go to like a 5-day, 15 minutes. It'll be a little clearer. So here, there's a 5-day, 5-minute charts, right? So what this chart on the bottom shows you guys, let's just say 5-day, 15 minutes, is it gives you the actual contract price that has been executed, okay? Meaning that when this, okay, so you can see my, this blue cross arrow of where when I move my mouse, it'll follow from the top and the bottom. So right at this given point where it says low of 3.5, you can see that low 3.5 right here. If you guys, you see my crosshairs, right? So it's synchronized right now. So at that given moment, someone can buy or did buy this at $3.50. Okay, and it continued to move, and you can see this per day action of how it's been moving, right? And obviously we bought. Well, I bought here at 11.6 and 9.75, right? That's why it shows where I bought it here in this chart. So, and of course we've been in choppy action right now, and it kind of shows you how this contract has been trading, right? Even though let's just say from this given moment right here. Well, let's just say it was around $7.75, right? Even though we are like that's like 10 points to 616 to around 625, right? We're about 10 points higher. And look, the contracts are actually trading the same. So it kind of gives you an idea how theta works. Okay, guys, these expire next week. So we're about almost 8 to 10 points higher. And if you never sold out of the contracts, right, we are pretty much break even here. Okay. And just looking at it from a daily perspective, let's just say how we were trading for the day. Right, we bought. Sometimes people, what they do and look at, right, the same way you guys do, and you guys chart on a regular time frame, like up here, let's just say you're looking at Tesla on a 15-minute, right? People actually do the same charting on this option flow, or on this option chart, meaning like, when they see this, right, and they're like, oh shit, this could be a, let me draw like a line or something. This could be like a double bottom right here. So, oh, I'm gonna buy it here, guys, right? Rather than looking at it right here, where it doesn't really give you a clear double bottom, right? Where I like to trade up using this, right? But some people, they look at this and like, oh shit, okay, someone bought this at 812. It's back at 812. It could be a double bottom here. Let me buy it right here. Okay. Again, there's no right or wrong way to trade. I'm just giving you guys, many options that, people do trade and look at sometimes. I look at it from time to time just so I can get an idea of where people are buying it. Because, oftentimes, you'll see like, this one right here was a bad entry, right? Technically it was a decent entry, my second entry, but I never collected profits as it continued to go up. I mean, at this point, I was up about 15%. And then the last like hour just went blood, right? And I think I'm down 28% right now, based off this Tesla trade. Okay. But you can go back and you can look at this, right? It gives you guys a good idea, right? 30 days out, right? So even if, let's just say I go 30 days out right here on the hour. So right here, when Tesla was trading, let me make it a little bit more clean for you guys. I'm going to remove these studies. Oh, that's not that much. I'm going to remove everything then. And I'm gonna remove extended hours so it's nice and clean for you guys. Okay, so looking at this, guys, we're both on the same chart. 30-day 1 hour on the top, 30-day 1 hour on the bottom. Okay, so let's just say you were trading Tesla at this given moment right here, right? It's a high of 87.5 per contract for the 640 calls at that moment for June 4th. Okay, obviously we had this nice clear downtrend, and of course your premiums as well gets eaten up, right? You're just fucking getting murdered right now. Okay, hit a bottom around 3.5, right, where it kind of just bounced off this long-term trend line right here off Tesla, but it gives you an idea, right, of how these contracts has been traded. Again, look at my synchronized crosshair on my on the top graph right now. Okay, so around here was the lows, okay, around 3.5. And just basing off of Tesla's chart, right, now we're kind of bouncing here. So from the 3.5s, right, you can see the chart has been continuing going to a clear little uptrend. However, not the past 2 days, have been consolidating, right? Like this choppiness. So again, kind of gives you a signal, an idea like, oh, wow, okay, this is what people are paying for. This is what the contracts were trading at that given moment, at that given time, right? And a lot of people look at this, which I think is kind of toxic. They look at it after they get out of the train, they're like, oh shit, man, if I held this, yada, 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 I would have made blah, blah, blah bucks. But, who gives a fuck, right? I mean, I know a lot of people out there, they say, oh, I alerted this here, but I didn't hold. But hey, look, it's at, let's just say it goes back up at $87. Like, okay, so what? You didn't hold it. You didn't, execute the trade that you did, right? But it did. I mean, anyone can kind of go back in hindsight and look at it, right? But this gives you an idea, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and look at Palantirs now on the right side. Okay, I'm going to change this to PLTR now, give you guys a better idea of view. Yeah, it shows you my entries and exits here. Well, this was my equity, right, when I entered and exit. But we're looking at it from let's just say on Friday. We go to a 5-day, 15 minutes. And this is a 5-day 5. We'll go 5-day, 15-minute. So yeah, just looking at this chart as well. Same exact thing, right? At the highs of here, right? When, let's just say someone caught this, they're chasing this or whatnot, and they caught it up here. They maybe took a quick scalp. It went as high as $1.2. Okay, 1.2, $120 per contract, right? I entered at 50, right? You can look at my active trader, whatever. Right, my average cost right now is 50 cents. But think about it, right? If you're looking back here, and let's just say it goes back to 1.2, right? That's over 100% return already. Okay, but just kind of gives you an idea how it's been trading throughout this market move, right? And of course, you can go back into furthers, look into not yesterday, but on Thursday, let's just say, not Friday, and see how this exactly moved as well. Okay, went as low as around 10 cents, closed at around 30 cents, right, based off this action. So you guys again can look at this and see how it is. One thing I liked about Palantir though is just the fact that if I'm going back on a 1 day, 1 year, right, you guys can see I had this, $22.68 as a nice, profit taking resistance support level, whatever it is, which is why I felt like a comfortable entry based off this bullish action, right? You just had a massive squeeze and then the shorts went blah, 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 right? Peace out. You know what that tells me? That tells me there's a lot of supply right here. A lot of you guys look at volume shelf, right? I don't really need to look at that to kind of gauge what it is, but just looking at this nice long wick to the downside, meaning sellers push this, name down really hard after it hit this, 24, let's just say 83. So, but it is what it is, right? Just basing off of this, what I like to see that it kind of held was that 22.68 continuously. So, I mean, maybe that could have been that breakout plus that retest and we get another leg higher and another squeeze higher. But that was my main reason for me entering it. And I'm not too worried. I mean, looking back into the scanners, like I showed you guys, there are some open interests out here. I think we have the 611s. I'm not too worried yet. Of course, anything can change, right, as we adapt as a trader. But that's why I'm only in for about 20 contracts, and they're at 50 cents. So that's like $1,000 or something, right? It's not too much. But just gauging how this is, kind of gives you an idea, right, how the Palantir contracts that you guys are searching for are trading, and vice versa, right? Looking at and seeing how it's trading through the actual price action for the charts as well. So that's a big one, right? And of course, like I said, people out there, they trade based looking at this, man. They look at, oh shit, someone bought at 1.2, went as low as 36 cents, right? And then let's just say, okay, 36 cents. We're seeing like it's bottoming from the sell perspective, right, of this actual contract. Maybe like buy it right here rather than looking at it from this chart and saying, okay, we have a potential double bottom here. So maybe I'll add some here, right? Okay, see what some people look at it from this perspective. So that's something that you guys can look into if you guys are trading on Thinkorswim. I'm sure other platforms have it as well, but then you have to kind of dig into it. I've been trading on Thinkorswim for, I don't know, over 6 years. So yeah, I'm very comfortable using this stuff. But my majority of the time, like I said, I just have this open, and I look at my charts here on a multi time frame analysis, right? 1 day, 1 minute, whatever it is, and then the 5 day 15 or something, and the 5 day 5 minute. But yeah, it's gonna be a quick one. Do you guys have any questions on that before kind of show you on a bigger thing? Yeah, but if you look at this from a daily time frame, right, just looking at Palantir, could be bearish, right? I mean, a lot of supplies, sellers push this name down pretty hard, to be honest. But of course, we have a lot of room here to run and go. What I think is happening is that we had a lot of supply through this consolidation where people just don't have that patience to hold this name anymore. So they just wanted to completely get out of it at, let's just say, a little small profit or break even and just say, my opportunity cost is not there for this name. I'm tired of holding this name. And then maybe based off this new data, we're still in a clear potential downtrend. So they're just like, oh, I don't feel comfortable holding this. However, if you're really charting this and looking at it, yes, we did break out of this downward channel. This could be the retest that we get maybe perhaps next week, and then we get another leg up, or this could be, a big fake out, right? Time will tell to see how this name trades. But again, of course, if you're using all the other tools in the chat room, the Discord, also the scanners and whatnot, you can tell that there is a lot of bullish bias in this name. Looking at Tesla, right? These are two names I'm in. I'm probably not going to be looking at much, until I get out of these trades. But yeah, we have some long-term, this long-term trend line holding as a nice level of support, which gives me some bullish bias, right? Going into next week, kind of bounced fairly hard. Again, lighter volume. It's not too much going into, the holidays and whatnot. But just looking at Tesla here, I think we have some room to the upside. Let's see how we trade on Tuesday. And again, I didn't do too much charting yet, just because we have another day before the markets open. But one thing for you guys to kind of look at as well, and this will be the last thing I'll talk about, guys. I'm going to go back into the Discord. Right, and I mentioned it a couple of times, but I know we have a few new members here and there. When you guys are using the option flow channels, the equity blocks, and the unusual options. Although, you know, on Thursday it was down a little bit. I was messing with it Wednesday night. Forgot to restart it. But you know, a good way to kind of gauge into the market. Same way the scanner was how I told you guys to use. You can always use Command F or Control F if you're trading on Apple or Microsoft. Right, look for that specific ticker that you want to look at. Right, let's just say Tesla. We had some bullishness buying into Tesla's name here, right? You can see, if anything, there was no puts that were actually bought, okay, based on Friday's action. And looking at, you know, just strike price 635, right? This one's on June 4th. I think we're in 640s, 650s, 640s. You know, and of course this one right here, 528 expired 630. This guy's, you know, this contract is completely done. This guy probably day traded it. You know, what's done is done. The premium he spent was 28K. Who knows if this guy is like big money and this 28K is relatively nothing to him, right? And of course, looking into it, all right, there's 710 calls, right? Fairly aggressive, an algo score of 48. Spent 420K premium on it, expires 618. Okay, so you guys can continue to use this as you guys trade. And of course, going into equity blocks, how I like to use it as well, right? Doing the same thing, especially if you're not here day trading and monitoring it, you know, second by second, minute by minute. Right, if you want to go back end of day and just seeing what the action is, right, you can type in Tesla again, right? Oops, sorry. Right, so they're obviously, I mean, no one's gonna, well, not no one, but there was no equity being bought on Friday. The last time someone bought equity was at May 21st. Okay, they bought it at $585.66 per share. Now, sometimes people can look at this and they say, okay, next time it goes to 585.66 because we have multiple prints here, right? This could be a potential level of support. So like a potential buy zone for you to enter to the upside, okay? And I do look at it sometimes from time to time. I went over AMD with us many months, and it showed that $78, $76 as a nice level of support. And it's been continued to hold, okay? You know, just typing AMD here, looking at equity blocks, right? A lot of the time, right here, 77.20, 77.20, 77.51, 75.90. Everybody, a lot of institutions have been buying this stock at that level. So, and if you look back at, I'm going to show you guys a nice example since this is perfect, right? The $75, $76 mark, right? Institutions has been buying. Look at AMD. Remember, I've been showing you guys for the last, what, 8-9 months? Every time it hit this level of support again, guys, we've been continuing to bounce over and over and over again, right? Meaning if you didn't even take any trades and you just continue to wait until we hit this buy zone and you continue to buy this on the upside, like, you know, you could just wait for these trades and you'll be up for the, you know, up pretty nicely. So just, again, these tools out there, it might seem like it's nothing, but if you actually look into the details, right? You know, of course, risk management is everything, guys. Just because you see something like this doesn't mean you should go all in on every single trade here. You still have to manage your trade, right? Meaning you risk, let's say 15% of these per portfolio per trade on these, expecting that bounce, right? As far as if you can manage your risk and continue to look at these setups right now, you're going to be completely fine going into it. Now, of course, going back into the Discord, right? There's many different ways of how you can implement and look at this, right? You know, sometimes people see that, you know, people buying a lot of, you know, let's just say AMD at this price point. That kind of shows that this is a buy zone for institutions, right? The smart money, as well as it potentially for yourself as well. Okay. And that's how I use equity blocks. Now, there's other ways I use it as well. Like, let's just say Boeing. I do look at this every single day. I'll type in BA. I'll look when institutions are buying Boeing as well. Okay, I'm very long Boeing. I'm very long a lot of stocks, but the stocks that I have on my watch list, I'll continue to look every single day to see if institutions do buy in. Sometimes it doesn't happen, right? Look at Boeing. You know, last time it was bought was, you know, May 6th and then May 13th. It's May 30th right now, meaning institutions hasn't really been buying it, you know, the past 2-3 weeks. Okay, but I do look at it every single day because from an investor's point of view, right? Even if you're not a trader, this is, you know, good information, right? Because let's just say you're not a big options trader as well. I'll give you a nice example. Going into the option flow, you're thinking, okay, why the hell do I need to look at option flow if I'm just trading equities? You know, couple things, right? Let's just say, I don't know what's been printing out, but let's just use Tesla, since we know that we know that Tesla has been printing and it's all green, right? Let's say you're not an options trading, but you're looking at this Tesla trade, you're looking at, wow, there's a lot of people betting that Tesla's going to go up, right? I don't really see any puts yet, right? The last time I see 27th on Thursday. I can play it safe. I can say, okay, I'm gonna buy it on a dip. I'm gonna buy equity, okay? Because equity can hold forever. You don't have to be, you know, even if it doesn't go in your favor, right? It goes down. You can continue to hold. You're not going to be as risk averse as, you know, trading options. Okay. And when you have these, you know, tickers show, and let's just say again, you're an investor, you're a trader, right? But a stock trader, you're not an options trader. You're playing it a lot more safe. Obviously, your return isn't going to be as high. But when you see this and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna just buy Tesla equity here. I'm gonna ride this up a little bit because it looks like a lot of people expect it to go higher. And when it goes higher and you take that profit, you know, what's done is done. You're good to go. Okay. If you're an investor and you're looking at Tesla, you're saying, wow, a lot of people buying here right now. Maybe you can buy some here. And when it goes up, right, you sell. Right. But you do have that direction here that kind of gives you a little bit, a slight edge, right? Imagine just trading and you don't have all this information. You're just, oh shit, I think Tesla can go up. I think Tesla can go down, right? Whereas you're just looking at it and it's been a lot of bullish flow. Okay. Of course, like I said, that's the more risk, you know, you just have to manage your risk doing that. I know a lot of people here, you know, they don't like to risk because, you know, leverage and options, you know, the gains are great, but, you know, the risk is very high. If you don't, you know, manage your risk, you know, you can blow up your account. Whereas some people, they like to trade equities and they're like, okay, I'm not willing to risk. I'm not willing to lose a lot of money, but I'm here to just gain a little bit here and there. And that'll make me happy. Okay. So that's one way you can use equity block and option flow. Now, again, the unusual options is a big one too. A lot of people look at, right? They look at these and they say that these institutions are going very aggressive on these trades. And when they do go aggressive, that's when you kind of anticipate, right, that they are correct. I mean, of course, you never follow someone else's trade. You always look for confluence. You look for validation with your own charting, with your own analysis, your own due diligence. But when you're looking at these, right, and let's just say you have conviction, right, because you saw that, let's just say AMD, right, since we're talking about AMD. So there was an unusual 86 strike, you know, 3,822 contracts at 68 cents bought on AMD on Friday. So let's just say you're going back to AMD and you're saying, okay, I did do my charting on AMD. Here, I'm looking at AMD. Okay, you look at AMD, and, you know, it was bought on Friday. You're looking at it from a larger time frame, top-down analysis, and you're saying, okay, it bounced here, very bullish, many times. So I'm like, okay, this looks good to the upside, you know, or you can kind of look at it from the contrary in a way too, saying, oh, we ran up that much already. Are we really going to continue to go higher based off, you know, someone bought an aggressive 86 strike, right, which is around right here. Okay, meaning we have about $6 move to that point. It might not hit, right? But then at the end, we're here to look at that direction, right? To gauge what other people are looking at. And if obviously he bought it to the upside, meaning that he's expecting another, you know, leg up here. But of course, you know, like I said, when you see something like this that's run up, maybe you want to downsize your risk a little bit because, you know, it already ran up, what, let's just say from 73 to 80, about $7. Yes, it can continue running up, right? Don't get me wrong. But, you know, just being that it ran up this much and you have an unusual option, you know, appear on the scanner. And let's just say you have all this chart set up and you're saying, oh, 82 right here, $82 per share is actually a good level of profit taking because I have that here. Maybe it could be a nice level of resistance. I don't mind, you know, entering a trade here, sizing up a little bit or sizing down a little bit and seeing if we continue to run, right? Again, it's validation, it's confluence, right? Let's just say you think you want to trade this, you have a bullish bias on AMD, and then something appears in the option flow, the equity blocks, the unusual options. It's like, oh shit, smart money also thinks it's going to go up too. You know, hey, maybe this is going to be the trade for me, right, to take on. So Marwan said, do the bots only show certain tickers? No, they show every ticker that actually, you know, trades that has in the dark pool, meaning that there are institutions out there that pay extra on top of their premiums, on top of their investment to make sure that it's hidden from the public exchange. Okay, because of course, if you know, we had this on the tape, right? Time and sales or whatnot, and you saw like a big order come in, right? I mean, obviously it's very transparent to know that, hey, there's smart money buying into this, right? A lot of the times they like to hide their information so that they can continue buying on the low side, right? Because when you guys have hedge funds out there, right, just to give you a little, you know, I guess educational on how the VCs and whatnot work, they can't just buy $1 billion, even though they have like a purchasing power of multi-billion. They can't buy that much in one sitting. They have to continuously buy in small increments until they can reach their actual position size that they want to. Does that make sense? So because they can't do that, that's why you have these fluctuations, right, in price action. And of course, because that is here, that's why you have chart patterns that actually, you know, indicate what, you know, is the potential move. That's why you have bullish bull flags, right? Bear flags, right? You know, all these intentional traders is what these usually the whales, the big money actually show for. So I don't know, let's say I don't know, Apple. Let me find a good example. Not clean example, but maybe Boeing should be a good one actually, since yeah. So these chart patterns, right? Looking at from, let's just say, a weekly perspective, okay, a weekly time frame. So this is when when it squeezes out to the apex, right? And let's just say you have institutions that bought this initial dip, right? They'll continue initially to buy this dip again and to buy, and then it tends to get tighter and tighter and tighter, right? So that they're, when they have that initial squeeze and whatnot from the apex to go up, they're actually already in for a couple of times in their position, right? These are what and how a lot of the big chart patterns start to appear as well when you have flags, because of again, when they buy, right, let's just say continue to pop up, you know, we have to have consolidation. We have to have a leg, you know, like this channel here, right? So, you know, there's people profit taking, there's people that are, you know, chasing, not thinking that it's there, and they don't know what to do, right? But, you know, that's why we have these chart patterns start to appear as you guys trade, just based off pure whales not being able to buy immediately all at once, right? That's why when let's just say they bought here, most of the time you'll never see it going back down here, right? And that's why you have, if it does go back down here, you have double bottoms, where if that double bottom is bought again, then you'll continue to see that, you know, double bottom hold at a level of support. However, from these specific chart patterns is where you'll see it never continuing to go back where the initial position was, right? Goes up, you'll never buy it back at this position, right? It goes up, right? You're probably never going to be able to buy it back at this position. So what that kind of tells me is that all of these levels right here, if it ever goes back to 80 and 90 bucks a share, holy shit, I'm no brainer, right? I think a lot of people are going to buy it. But we're going to look at these levels right here when it goes hit back that 144, right? Same with here, okay? That break, a retest at 186, and the vice versa again, 220. Okay, so you have, so this is what shows you the trend, right? It shows you that institutions are buying, buying. If it went like this, right, then it doesn't really give you a clear pattern. It could just be people just trading this. No one's really investing. No one's really buying, you know, on the dips, right? They're just mainly just trading, choppiness and whatnot. But this kind of gives you you know, a direction of where Boeing is headed. Okay. Anyways, guys, yeah, this is gonna be a short, well, that was 45 minutes, but yeah, I'm pretty much going to conclude it here. I'm gonna go ahead and do some charting after this. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, based off, you know, the scanners, how to, you know, trade on Active Trader, setting up your charts, looking at the scanner defaults again, or even the option flow, unusual options, just DM me. I'm here to help. So yeah, if not, let's have a great short week. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.